The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. So good, so good, so good.
Great gifts for mom? We've got them. And they're up to 60% off at Nordstrom Rack stores now.
You know they have Marc Jacobs?
Gotta show mom some love.
That is so good.
Snag amazing deals on Mother's Day gifts from Barefoot Dreams, Kate Spade New York, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Danger lurks in the American landscape.
No one in their right mind would be out here, which makes it the perfect place to kill someone.
Introducing Hot and Deadly from ID, your podcast for classic American true crime served with a side of biscuits and gravy. On each episode, you'll hear some of ID's most shocking stories of murder and betrayal, from the mystery of a preacher shot and killed by a bow and arrow to a former prom queen gone missing and found murdered. Listen to Hot and Deadly on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello everybody, welcome to Self-Care Club. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Laura Mishcon.
I've like just suddenly changed that today. Now
Have
it's
you?
just stuck.
You've just changed the intro.
Yeah, because we
without
do that,
even telling me.
because we do that on 40ish.
Maybe it's because you're a bit overexcited because of our guest today.
Do you think?
Maybe.
I mean,
I am.
I cannot believe our luck with who is coming on the show.
Should we give the listeners a clue?
Well, I reckon the title was a clue.
Oh, yeah.
When they
But
press
let's
play.
say they've just clicked on and not
Yeah.
really looked at the title.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
we give them a clue?
Yeah.
It's definitely not my jam.
And also, if you're not a MAFSA, Married at First Sight Australia fan,
Scroll on by.
you won't understand. Well, no, don't scroll on by, because you are about to be introduced to an absolute gem.
Oh, she is a fucking legend.
She's a legend. She's iconic. So you want to stay around for this chat, even if you didn't watch Married at First Sight.
If you did watch Married at First Sight last year, season 11, then there is absolutely no way that you will have missed out on the joy, the wonder, the fabulosity that is Lucinda Light. Holistic counsellor, marriage celebrant, public speaker and MC Lucinda Light was undoubtedly the breakout star of Married at First Sight Australia season 11, where she wowed the viewers with her compassion and her mediation skills. Even though she didn't find love on the show with Tim, God bless him, she definitely stole our hearts and gained a loyal international fan base. Lucinda's debut live tour, An Evening with Lucinda Light, sold out theatres across the UK, and later this year she's going to host Channel 4's new dating show, The Honesty Box. Now she continues her journey into emotional intelligence with her first book, Shine Your Light, an interactive journal guiding readers towards enriching more meaningful relationships, starting with the ones we have with ourselves.
Combining wisdom distilled from Lucinda's richly lived life with techniques for elevating emotional intelligence, Shine Your Light provides insightful prompts and space for personal reflection. With Lucinda as a soulful guide, readers will discover their most authentic, empowered and gorgeous selves. She was the stand out of the entire series, and if there's one thing that you would have taken away from that series, it was her, and it was how she conducted herself and how composed and gracious and open-hearted she was throughout the whole experience.
There are a lot of large characters on that show, but she really does encompass self-worth,
self-esteem,
self-love,
yeah,
and all of the things that we are all about on this show, right? So how could we possibly resist the opportunity to interview her?
So Lucinda came on the show. We did it remotely. She was in the middle of her book tour, which we're going to tell you about in a minute. And we had the absolute pleasure and joy of speaking to her over Zoom on Friday. And we talk about self-worth. We talk about how to have confidence.
Talk about her MAFSA experience.
Her book. What she thinks of MAFSAs this season as well. Yeah. She's got a brand new book out, which she tells us all about. And just basically her whole take on life and how she walks through life in such a unique, open-hearted way. I mean, I don't think I've ever met anyone more open-hearted than her.
No. Anyway, this is the interview. Enjoy, everybody.
When you think about super successful businesses that are selling through the roof like Heinz or Mattel, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But there's a secret. The business behind the business making selling simple for them and buying simple for their customers. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout as Heinz and Mattel. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/promo, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/promo to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/promo.
You're the perfect blend of elegance and style, and your ride should be no different. The 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid meets all your needs, from business to brunch and everywhere in between. With head-turning details like a sleek front end, plus stylish interior, and an available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and seamless tech integration. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid.
Vitamin Water was born in New York because New Yorkers wanted more. Like more flavor to go with all the flavor. A refreshing drink after climbing 6 flights of stairs to a walk-up apartment, or standing in the subway station in 100-degree heat. Focus when I have an 8-hour shift, and Triple X after I was out all night at a club. Call Triple X. Drink vitamin water. It's from New York.
So, when I ask, what is Odoo? What comes to mind? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But some people also say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. I mean, whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, I guess Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it. Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Lucinda, a huge welcome to Self-Care Club. We are so excited to have you here.
Oh, it's so beautiful to be here, Lauren, and yeah, it's just gorgeous to be here. Hi, guys. Nicole.
Hi.
Hi.
We have to start with this because we are both MAFSA obsessives. We WhatsApp each other about it all the time. Are you watching the current series?
I am. I finished it. We finished it in Australia. Can you believe it? And just as I was flying out of Australia on the plane, the very, very last show aired. So I haven't seen the very last one. So that's
the
when they sort of
reunion.
surmise on the couch. Yeah, the review.
Okay.
But apart from that, I've seen it all. And it's a juicy season. I mean, a bit to say a little, how can I say it? I mean, the whole thing is it's quite edgy. Yeah, it's quite edgy. I'll say that.
Okay.
I mean, it has been quite edgy. There's been a few things, but I mean, nothing is going to beat last year's series. And I'm not just saying that because you are sat in front of me. It was just heavenly from everything. I mean, you had you and Tim, and then you had Jack with the muzzle your woman. I mean, that was the best scene ever.
It was amazing. It was gold.
There was a lot of characters, wasn't there? Between Lauren Dunn, fun, you and your nipples take 2 seats backwards, calling Jack a glazed ham. And I mean, there was, Andrea and Dicko, and there was a whole host of characters, that's for sure.
Who's your favourite this year? Who's your standout?
Look, I mean, Rhea and Jeff are lovely. I was going to call them G.
Gorgeous.
I've already combined their names, but they're a delightful couple. I mean, I love Jamie and Dave. I think they're quite dynamic. Jamie's a real character, and Big Dave, the giant with the
yes.
So sweet.
Yeah. She sort of lost me a bit last night. Last night was the dinner party where Lauren and Clint didn't turn up, and she sort of lost me a bit there. I was like, girl, rein it in a little, just a little.
She's a bit of a wild heart, isn't she?
I could see very passionate.
Very passionate. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely disagreeing with my husband. He felt she was right. I felt she wasn't. So it was like, it's a whole debate in the household. Can I just say, my 16-year-old, who is utterly obsessed with you, she
Oh,
was
bless.
desperate to come in on this interview. I've told her she was banned, so I actually couldn't tell her when we were interviewing her. She just adores you, everything you stand for, everything you, she just loves you. And I'm so happy that you are a role model for her because I think that is wonderful.
Bless. I love that age, 16. I mean, they're such informative, it's an informative age and, it's great. Yeah, I mean, I feel honored, that age group are actually picking up what I'm putting down. I feel, it's amazing. So
But
give her my love.
you know what it was? It was that you carried yourself through that series with grace and authenticity. And I think that came through so much because a lot of those kids are on it for the Instagram, on it for the OnlyFans, whatever it is they're going into that show for. But the way you handled yourself, your self-worth throughout the whole series, whatever was going on in that relationship, you always held what was true and authentic to you in mind. And it was very refreshing and it was very inspiring.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The mantra from start to finish was just be myself, show up as
Yeah,
myself and, hold the heart, hold the compassion for everybody. And of course, Tim was going through a really tough time. He was grieving his father and yeah, it was a beautiful story arc. Although I didn't get the
it was.
romance, it was a beautiful story arc. And yeah, I'm so grateful for the whole experience. I really am.
You're glad you
And
did it.
I am. I am. It's been amazing for me, just to have this platform actually to put my creativity and my love and, share things. I mean, I've never had a big audience, so it's been incredible. I'm quite a mad creative, so I'm like, all right, let's put this out and try this, and yeah, it's mind blowing. It blows me away, and I continually have little pinch me moments. My life has changed dramatically since being on maths in a myriad of ways. So, yeah,
And that brings us to why we're here today, because you are releasing a book.
I've got it here.
yes. Yesterday it released, really. Yesterday
Oh,
was
it was only
publishing
out
day.
yesterday. Oh,
Yesterday. Well,
congratulations.
huge congratulations. Please tell us all about the book.
Thank you. Well, it's called Shine Your Light, and it's a guided journal to deepen your emotional intelligence. And I come along with the reader. It's part autobiography, lots of vulnerable shares, but moments where I'm going, oh gosh, look where I tripped here or failed here or triumphed here, or this is what I learned. And the first chapter is very much about knowing yourself. And then I go really into relationships, and all the ways that we can have them. And yeah, it's just about refining your emotional intelligence, which is very malleable, unlike IQ, which is very fixed. We can always be learning more about our emotional intelligence. And, there's tools in there and invitations to write letters and letters from my readers and responses. And my drawings are in there and lots of space to write, although I do say to the reader, get another diary because you're going to need more space. But look, I hope people love it. I think it's a tool. It's a fantastic tool, whether you read it from the beginning to the end or just pick it up and go, hang on, I'm feeling really stagnated. There's a stagnation entry there, so you can deep dive or intuitively open it up and go, oh, what's this about? So yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it. I've got soundtracks, so playlists that I've made that can really accompany the book as well while you're journaling.
That was
Uh,
so clever. I saw that you've got QR codes embedded in the
yes.
pages, and then you can scan, they're here, and then you can scan the QR codes and listen to the corresponding music as you're going through the book. It's brilliant. I've never seen
Yeah,
that before.
it's an experience,
It's
it's
great.
a journey we go on together, and I think people will feel my presence and little trills of humor and nonsense and, honesty and all of that stuff. So it's great. It's got wings, it's out there in the world, and I'm just looking forward to hearing everybody's unique experience with it. I mean, touring last year, that's what I realized. You put out one show and that's the blueprint, and yet everybody comes back with a very different experience of what that show meant to them. And I think this book will be the same, I suspect. So, yeah, but it's officially come out yesterday.
I can't wait to get my hands on it. Lauren's got my copy. Your publisher very kindly sent over a couple of copies. So
Good.
I am very excited. What would you say to people like Lauren who don't love to journal? Tell us why it's good for you and what you can get from it just from jotting down your thoughts and feelings.
Well, look, I mean, so many of us are addicted to this, myself included, and I think journaling really takes you into that sacred space where you give yourself that time to put it down. And it's time for you, it's very self-therapizing. I mean, if you're not a journaler, it's quite hard to know where to start. And that's why this book sort of does steward you through and gives you the prompts to sort of go there. But look, in the beginning, there was word. There's so much power when we take that pen and write. I think it's fantastic for manifesting. I think it's fantastic for letting go, for processing. There's so many things that are potent and pertinent about, pen to hand to paper. So I want to share my love of that. I want, my tribe to just give it a go, because it really has worked for me in so many ways. Yeah.
Going back to what Lauren said before about how you, during your time on Married at First Sight, you just stood so in your light and in your authenticity and in your truth and with self-worth. How has that been a very long process? Did it happen? Is it something that you've always been able to tap into intuitively, or has it taken a lot of self-awareness? How did you get to this place? Because I think so many women listening to this just want to be in this headspace and be able to live with their whole heart. But how do we do that?
Bless you. Look, I mean, it is a journey, and don't get me wrong, I have sad moments. I have moments where I'm a little bit of a wreck or exhausted, or, I am all of us, like all of us. I suppose, for me, I mean, mum did say I was a very happy baby and child. She often does say that to me. So I think I do have a bit of a sunshine soul, by default.
Oh, I
But
love that.
at the same time, I have had a lot of breakdowns and breakthroughs and tough moments and adversities. And I think the thing that I really live with is just gratitude, because I have had some deep depressing moments and, really tough times, like especially at this time in my life where I feel thrust onto my soul path and I am in momentum, and I've got so many people sort of celebrating and getting behind my journey. I feel so grateful for that. I mean, even this, to be here, part of the self-care club, and sharing with your viewership, like it's just, the mirrors that go up, I love you and your work, and I just think I'm so grateful for that. I'm just honored and I feel happy. It has taken a lot of work. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm on a soapbox now, just sort of going all over the shop. But also, it has taken a lot of work. I have deep dived into myself, ripped myself apart, put myself back together over and over again, delved into self-care, self-love, podcasts and books and non-fiction and courses and retreats and meditation and tough things where I've really had to, find my truth because I've been in so much pain. I've had to really dig and dig deep. And I think all of that really does accumulate over the years to being pretty steadfast on your path and pretty confident and pretty happy with where I'm at as almost a 45-year-old woman. And sort of hope and pray that, in our 40s that we are in that space and place of loving ourselves. Yeah.
It is so refreshing though, isn't it? Because it is I know you live with you, so for you it's normality, but seeing you on the screen and seeing you in a social experiment with everything on the table and with someone that wasn't as invested or in the way that you wanted him to be invested in you. So
No.
we saw you with so much to navigate and so much to handle, and the way that you moved through it was so graceful and with your whole heart. And I guess
Thank
like you
you.
never turned on him, you never blamed him, you were never angry at him, you were never hateful at him. I mean, I think I would have been many, many times.
Yeah.
And to
And
be able,
his patio, it needed a slight, seriously, dude.
Little trim, little
It
a
needed a
little
whole
shorty bush.
makeover.
We love doing that as women, don't we? Little
I
shorty
know.
bush,
That's I kept thinking
giving
about
our
that.
love in space.
Yeah, so
but
true.
it was such a gift to see you navigating all of this stuff and doing it in a way like with this absolute solidity of self-worth at the center of it, and nobody was going to rock that. And I just
No way,
I
Jose. I
That's
mean,
how do
very
you
rare.
how do you do that,
Yeah.
Lucinda? Teach
Yeah.
us.
How do
I've
you
worked,
do that?
I've worked too hard at, letting anybody knock me off, my perch. I just, like we all learn that, don't we? Through the trenches, we earn that. But yeah, I don't think anyone needs to define our self-worth at all.
Oh,
And of course, nobody's, you know, actions or the way they are or the fact that he wasn't really invested in me, as you say, I couldn't take that personally.
no.
That's not my stuff. That's his perspective and he's entitled to it. He lives his way the way he does it, and how he used to get fired up with other people on the show or what have you. Again, that doesn't need to be a reflection of me. I think everybody's entitled to their own journey and the way they do it. And my job is just to sort of accept and, yeah, I suppose hold the mirror up when I'm not an advocate of the behavior, but yeah, just to do me, really. And, obviously it came to a point where respectfully I had to take my heart off the table because I'd tried from all angles and yeah, just I sort of realized when I came to his house in Melbourne that we really did live it very differently. And that's okay, respectfully, we do it really differently. And I've loved the journey and goodbye now, sort of thing.
We
So
both agreed. We both agreed that we would have married you happily, like happily, of everyone on the
you
show.
guys are
I
gorgeous.
still
Yeah.
would. I am
Yeah.
married, and that might be
I mean, I'm
complicated.
also married, but things change. Stuff
You
happens.
you guys are doing better than me. I'm so far away from marriage. I don't even have a partner at this point.
I'm
But
not even sure who's good enough for you, Lucinda. Like, really, who is
oh,
this man?
rubbish. There'll be someone awesome out there. I believe that in all of my being. But yeah, it is also fantastic being single. Single is a very valid relationship status. I mean, I love being single. I've spent a lot of my adult life being in partnership. And I've got to say, singledom does rock. So, but yeah, it would have to take someone awesome. I mean, and you guys know that, if you want somebody that's going to add value to your life and something different, that they can bring and you're complimentary and you're both just high-fiving going, this is great. Like we're doing life better together. Otherwise I'd rather just move and groove at my own pace, I think.
Oh,
But I
oh,
think that comes with such an inner confidence because I think a lot of women who are in their 40s, mid 40s are thinking about compromising or settling because, maybe better to just have them than not have them. And that's not what you subscribe to. And I love that.
No, I don't. I just think we need to be living our best lives, the best way that we can. And yeah, if we're sort of compromising and giving massive parts of ourselves away and in these codependent lots, I'm not sure that's serving. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's easy for me to say I'm here now, and people are in circumstantial relationships, or, they've got loyalty or other values they live by. But for me personally, I would rather an interdependent, like a relationship where I'm still living my best life, but sort of weaving in and out with them and not sort of compromising what I want to do, because I I've got a lot to share with the world and I don't want to stop doing that. So it'd have to be somebody that's really living his best life. And when we get together, we have a really great time and sort of expand each other's worlds. But yeah, I don't want to stop or compromise what I'm doing. No way.
Good.
Not now, not
Good.
ever.
Good. Now that my daughter's watching you, good.
And the book, when you get it, Shine Your Light, that could be a beautiful journey to go on with your daughter, and do that together, and really share that space and time together, and just even, if she's not into writing, even just have conversations with some of the prompts and what have you. Like that's another really lovely way to use it, is doing it together.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. What do
Mm.
you want the reader, or what should every reader like walk away from your book?
I think just knowing themselves better, like understanding when triggers happen or projections, or, how to sort of self-regulate better, getting better tools, or, maybe going into parts of themselves, parts of the past, childhood wounds, how to navigate this life, relationships, and ourselves better equipped, with better tips and tools, and better critical thinking and reflection, and yeah, and just the process, I think, of getting it down on paper is very cathartic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm such an advocate for journaling, so hopefully I convince a couple of people to get over into that side. And it's really interesting. There was a lady called Lara Eyre the other day. She was a maths bride herself, a UK maths bride, and she's sort of been into a bit of a gossip columnist, I suppose, and really loves all of that. And she's got her own podcast, and she's never done a scratch of self-development work. And we sent her the book, and she's been getting into it. Now, I love the idea of that demographic, somebody that has resonated with me but has never done any self-reflection or any spirituality, and then all of a sudden they've bought my book, and so it begins. So the journey begins of self-inquiry. Like that lights me up. I love that. But of course there's a lot of people that are very aware and very, like you guys, very sort of spiritual, and yeah, so I mean, maybe I'm preaching to the converted at times. I think it's for the village. I think it's for all sorts of people. And
But what I like is that you're not throwing anything on anybody. You're not saying, buy this, do that, speak like this, and be like that. All you're encouraging people to do, I think I'm correct, is just tuning into themselves.
Yeah.
Look at themselves and live from their full selves and their hearts, however that looks.
that's it, because everyone's got their own truth, don't they? Who am I to say that that's your truth? And I suppose that's why I like inquiry and journaling, because everybody's going to have their own truth that they find. So, yeah, it's a unique book. I think so, anyway.
It's fantastic. What do you do for your own self-care? What are like 3 things that you really enjoy doing that lift you up?
So I live in a village with 2,400 people right on the coast, the Great Ocean Road. So it's a very small village. And we've got a little group there called the Dodgy Dunkers at 7 a.m. every season, rain, hail, shine. We're down at the beach, jumping into that ocean over a sunrise. So that's the usual start to the day.
That's great.
And
Amazing.
then I come back home and jump in the barrel sauna, beautiful cedar barrel sauna. And then I will cook up a big brekkie and then go for a good walk, really
wow.
move my body. And then the day begins. So it's something like that. And then I have had a lot of experience in yoga, and I'm not great at keeping a yoga practice that's sort of daily at the moment. but asanas are littered throughout my day. So the way I sit in my chair or jump on the floor, I do these long restorative, poses, asanas, and I hang from trees a lot as well. I'm a huge advocate on very clean water. Water, I think, is very important for the pituitary and for, getting hydration at a deep cellular level. So I'm a bit of a water snob, and I try and eat very fresh, organic where possible. And I love cooking, like very sort of wholesome, whole food cooking, creative cooking. And yeah, they're my main ones, I would
That's
say.
That's
that
a
is
lot.
pretty.
That's
You're
good.
doing much better than Lauren, let me tell you.
Oh
I
my
really
God, much better
I
than
take
me.
supplements. I just bought myself these outrageous bean bags that are all sheepskin, and they're giant
Ooh.
sheepskins because I love to relax. I love relaxing. And I just don't find that I ever quite relax on a couch. I wanted something where I just totally surrender and my body could let go. So they're really fun. But yeah, a big one for relaxing and reading and listening to music and
Can I
podcasts and things
say
like that.
that it really shows that you really look after yourself? Your skin is glowing, your hair looks gorgeous, like you just look, you are
Thank you.
glowing. I think
I
your
look, I do my
lifestyle,
best.
well, I think your lifestyle it's on you, isn't it? You can always see when someone takes care of themselves.
Thank you. I mean, I'm naughty as well. Like last night I had a couple of glasses of red wine with my friends after the show. I mean, I am also very, a bit of this, a bit of
Balanced.
that, a bit bendy army, I can have my arm bent. I mean, I think it's fun to have fun, isn't it? And, play and be silly and not be rigid. I try not to be rigid. And of course, I'm traveling on the road a bit, and sometimes it can be a bit excessive, the lifestyle. Last year, I had way too many breakfast buffets, and I started to, it really brought out the hunter and gatherer in me, these brekkie buffets. And I just sort of would have a croissant, an English breakfast, a this and a that, and a pancake before even 9 a.m. So I said to my agent, please, no more breakfast buffets. Like while I'm traveling on the road, chuck me in a chuck me in a detox retreat, chuck me in anything but these, because I'm hopeless if it's in front of me.
I know
I
what
mean,
you
I'm a bit of a
mean.
exactly the same.
hedonist, a bit of a greedy gut, so I love
Yeah, but if
food.
it's there, so do I. If it's there, I want it. If I can
I'm
see it, I'm
gluttonous.
eating it.
Same. I'm 5'10". I'm a curvy woman. I embrace that.
Yeah, but
Uh,
people who have an appetite, I always find have an appetite for life. Like it shows so much about them. It's
yeah,
I really, it's true. It's how you nurture yourself, it's how you love yourself, it's how you
yeah,
share. It's the
yeah.
same with cooking, I feel. So I always love people who want to like get stuck in, It's good for
That's
you.
me. I
Good,
do love that. A little bit
good.
gluttonous. If this,
Yeah.
if one of the seven deadly sins was mine,
It's the
it'd be
best one.
gluttony. It's
It's the
not
best one.
envy.
No.
It's not, but I'm a little bit gluttonous.
Well, I resonate hugely with that. And I was actually saying to one of my friends the other day, do you know, I have never, ever, ever lost my appetite. It doesn't matter how stressed I am, it doesn't matter what is going on in my world. I
Same.
always have an appetite.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
good.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's
And
good.
no, and I love it. I totally love it. Um, Lucinda, this has been so gorgeous. I mean, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the Self Care Club. We have been tickled pink that you agreed to do our show. So
And
thank you.
I get why you guys are heading the self-care club because you're both very radiant and beautiful women that take care of yourselves. And like, what an amazing flag to be flagging for, beautiful people out there. Just self-care. It's so important.
Well, thank you for that. And actually, what we've learned by doing this show for 5 years and releasing God knows how many episodes is that self-care looks different for everybody. So it's a bit similar to what you're saying about your book. Everyone's journey is different and everyone's journey should be
Yeah,
different. And what works for Lauren and what works for me are always completely different. Lauren likes to read a book and I like to go out for a hike. So that they're just
yeah,
different things. And actually, the one thing that I loved about what you said about your self-care is that it's just in balance. Like you can really look after yourself and then you can sit down and enjoy a glass of wine with a friend. That's also a really important part of
that's it.
life, right?
Yeah. And if you're out traveling and on the streets of London, which I am now, I go and explore the neighborhood. There's no ocean around, it's okay,
Yeah.
go and have a coffee and stretch on the wall. Like, I mean, I'm just
Be
all
flexible.
yeah,
Yeah,
be
it's about
flexible.
being flexible. It's this, that rigidity is not, it's just not good for you, right? Because you're not growing in that, you're just stuck
Yeah.
in it.
But if you
So
do want to do some cold water immersion, there's a beautiful pond in Hampstead Pond.
there's a
The
ladies'
lady,
pond.
You're the third person that's told me about that. I really want to go.
And there's a
Because
gorgeous community, like they're
oh,
very cool women, and it's like $3. It's nothing, so you
I'm
just pop in.
I'm gonna go and do that. I've got some days off, so I think that's on my list of
I
things to
think
do.
you'd
It
love it.
sounds divine.
she
Yeah.
would love it.
Yeah.
Lucinda, thank you. You're a delight. We wish you all the luck in the world with this book. You deserve all the success that is coming your way. You really do.
Thank you, likewise. It was so easy to talk to you guys. Enjoy the book and
Oh,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for having me.
Oh my God. The pleasure was all ours, I can assure you. Thank you.
So fun.